It is Psychology 3.3. We're in early human development. Today we're going to take a look at some developmental stages. The song in the background is What's My Age Again? Blink 182. All sorts of different developmental stages over time. And we're going to take a look at a few today. Let's focus in. When we talk about developmental stages, we're going to basically center around one thesis, right? One basic premise or idea. Got my blue blocker glasses on today. A little different look. I don't even need them, but I thought I'd give you a different look. So the thesis that we're going to center around is this idea that kids actively try to make sense of the world, right? Children, we're just going to call them kids. Kids actively try to make sense of the world around them, right? No child is born just like, don't care, right? All children are actively, constantly trying to make sense of the world around them. And we're going to get into the thesis, right? Basically stole this thesis from a great Swiss psychologist. His name is Jean Piaget. And he was a Swiss psychologist. And in his experiments and in his philosophies and trying to prove this thesis statement, he landed on what he felt were some very clear developmental stages. Okay? And one of the big things he landed on was this idea that in trying to make sense of the world, we place information into organized patterns. Our brain places information into an organized pattern. And he called these patterns, or these places in our brain that organize these patterns, he referred to them as schemas. Right? And that is this organized sort of pattern, right? Basically the way that our brain stores information, it places information into these schemas. And the first sort of thought is that a young kid will accommodate, I see the root word here, will accommodate through a process of, when it ends with T-I-O-N, that's a process. So through a process of accommodation, a child will create space for a brand new pattern, right? Sort of like moving information into a whole new schema based on any type of information that they learn that is new. So our brains will accommodate the learning of new information by creating a new schema to dump that information into. The other thing that our brains do as we develop and as we learn, right, as we grow, is our brains may also voice crack, maybe I'm going through puberty, will also engage in a process of assimilation, right? And what assimilation is this idea that you can move pre-existing information, right? Or you can like find a piece of information that you've already encountered and dump that new information into something that already exists, right? Something that is similar, right? Is that our brains will dump info into a schema that already exists, a pattern that we have already identified. Okay, and let's just use a simple idea here. I'm going to draw a box. And off this box, I'm going to draw a little squiggly line. Okay, now, if we are accommodating this, right, if this is the first time we've ever seen this information, we might go, all right, like this is new. So this is a TV, and this long sort of squiggly thing coming out of the TV is, oh, new information. This is a cord, right? And the cord plugs in, and the cord delivers electricity to the TV and makes the TV turn on. That could be, as a young kid, that could be a brand new schema, right? The TV doesn't work unless this cord's plugged into the wall. And so plug cord into the wall, TV turns on. Boom, brand new schema developed in my brain, right? I have sort of developed that pattern in my brain. However, right, we also have this idea of assimilation that could also occur. For instance, if this is not a TV, right, if I'm dumping this idea of something like a little squiggly thing that hangs off of another item, until I accommodate that new information, a young kid at an early developmental stage may take this idea of the long cord hanging off of this box and might go, oh, this is a tail. Because in their brain, they already have a schema, they already have a pre-existing schema that exists that looks like this. And there's my little bad cat here with my little fat cat. Right? Boom, tail. Oh, tail, tail. And so with a really, really young kid, they might find themselves, until they accommodate the new information and develop a new schema developmentally in their brain, they may accommodate this sort of thought process, assimilate this long skinny thing hanging off on an object. They might dump that into the same sort of schema as an animal's tail. And so you could find, like, and I'm making up the age appropriateness here, but you might find a two-year-old might be like, tail. And you go, no, sweetie, that's not a tail, that's a cord. See, cord goes into the wall, TV turns on. And what that does is, in that child's brain, as they develop, they will accommodate that new information by creating a new schema, and this becomes a cord. Right? And then when you get older, your whole mind blows, like when you're like me, like everything had a cord growing up, and then suddenly one day, boom, no cords. Woo, everything was cordless. You go, wow, that was like mind exploding. You need to develop a whole new set of schema, right, to accommodate for that new information. Okay, so that's kind of Piaget's idea of how our brains actively make sense of the world. And I've kind of given you this idea of a filing cabinet bank in the past. If you picture the filing cabinets in the back of my room, if I kind of turn the camera, we could kind of say that our brain works a little bit like that bank of filing cabinets, which I know that I've gone over in class before. I've kind of given that analogy before. If I come back here, as I learn stuff, right, if I'm a young child, maybe, who knows, 18 months old, I see a TV with a cord coming out of it, and I start, oh, geez, man, what is that similar to? What is that similar to? Oh, here's my drawer. In this drawer, I got this folder. In the folder, I got all this stuff. And like any object with a long thing hanging off, that's a tail. Right? That's a tail, and it's similar to an animal tail, and so that thing hanging off of that TV, that must be I probably don't even know it's a TV, that must be a tail also. Boom. Filed. But my brain also accommodates new information when I go, oh, look, tail. And then mom and dad go, no, sweetie, it's not a tail. No, we need a whole new thing that you don't know yet, right? Here's a whole new drawer with a whole new folder in it. And oh, look, it's a cord, right? And the cord plugs into the wall and it makes things turn on. And boom, I got a new folder belt. All right, so developmentally, that's what's going on according to Piaget. And what does this matter? Well, tomorrow we're going to take a look at another video where we talk about the different developmental stages that kids go through from ages 2 to 7 and 7 to 12, and then early adulthood, all the way up through maybe even your age. And it's sort of our development and learning and growth builds on itself in this way of creating new schemas and dumping things into pre-existing schemas. Okay, thank you very much. We'll see ya mañana.